Carey Maguire, FSG could sell Liverpool soon after confirmed news. That's the headline. And I think it's a little bit naughty. A few of you have mentioned this suggestion, if you like, or claim. And what date was it? 3rd of October. I'm only addressing it now because I've been travelling for 3 days. So I saw this. I saw these quotes come out while I was on the move, and I haven't had a chance to address them yet. And I think I mentioned them in a previous video on here today, and I said I'll have a look at this with you guys. So the actual article originates from Football Insider, and that's really not the website that you want to be paying attention to, if I'm completely honest with you. However, Carey Maguire is deemed to be a football finance expert, all right? So it doesn't really matter what website is publishing his quotes, because all we're going to focus on is his actual quotes, so not any other claims around it, like the headline, FSG could sell Liverpool soon, right? And it's actually kind of like, the headline is made as like a statement, do you know what I mean? Like, anyway, so we're not going to read any blurb around it. Let's just focus on the quotes. And this is something that I always encourage people to do. So the headlines can be clickbaity to pull you in. The text around quotes can be biased, or can the author or the reporter can plant a seed in your mind. Even the photographs used in an article, can influence your way of thinking, because you can put on, say, you could write an article about something to do with, like Mo Salah gets substituted. Mo Salah, as Fabrizio Romano would say, Mo Salah gets substituted. It's one of those incidents where he looks very unhappy coming off the pitch. And then an article later that night or the next day says Klopp has talks, or Klopp responds to Salah, the fact that he was sulking or whatever. And they can put a picture on of Klopp on one side of the picture and Salah on the other, both like, and just looking at it, like the manager looking like that. And it makes it look like in disgust, right? But really the manager might just been going like that, right? But throw it in with the headline and the text, and it can plant a seed. I swear to God, it really can. So try not to pay too much attention to the headline. Certainly don't pay attention to the blurb around an article initially. And be careful with the images as well. And just focus on what Carey Maguire said, for example. I always read the quotes first, and then I step backwards and read the supporting text to see what the journalist is trying to say or trying to convey. But you've got to be careful with it. But if you know who the journalist is, it can help you, because you can think, well, I know why he's saying that. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, let's go straight to the quotes. And the quotes from Maguire are, FSG are an investment vehicle. We know they're not Liverpool fans. Lovely cup of coffee. They're not from Merseyside, and therefore they will do what they consider to be the best thing for their brand. And they see Liverpool as a brand. The value of Liverpool has risen spectacularly under FSG, and they see Liverpool as a form of franchise. This is a football expert. It sounds like someone that's not an expert, doesn't it? Do you not think? Is he stating the obvious, or is he explaining that for people that are a bit slow? I don't know. If the value of the club continues to rise, then there could be a point soon where they feel that an exit route makes more sense. But ultimately, it will be driven by commercial and business reasons. FSG are very, very forensic in their analysis of all of their franchise investments. So I don't see anything wrong with the quotes or anything. But the headline was, FSG could sell Liverpool soon. It doesn't really say that, but kind of alludes. The headlines come from this line, hasn't it? Which is, if the value of the club continues to rise, then there could be a point soon where they feel that an exit route makes more sense. So if, coulds, whatever. I don't know if I'm being like over, analysing it, but I guess he's saying there that at some point soon that they may feel an exit route is a good decision, but that's if the value of the club continues to rise. So I just it's a much ado about nothing really. The thing is, you know, us as supporters sometimes someone might say something to us, and then we're like, oh, have you heard this? Have you heard that? And before you know it, it's like Chinese whispers, a completely different version of things have come back. So I don't think it really matters that Football Insider are the one carrying his quotes. I even, you know, just ignore that and just stick with what he's saying. I guess what he's saying is just common sense, though. So it's not really like, if you read an article that says FSG, you know, could sell the club soon, that's going to reel you in, whether you want them out or whether you want them in. It's an interesting claim, isn't it? Oh, right, okay, what's that? What's the new development? But there is no new development here, is there? Because if the value of the club continues to rise, they might sell. Do you know what I mean? I'm quite happy that we haven't really been discussing the ownership of late, to be honest with you. It drags me down. It does. And, you know, listen, I don't flip-flop with my opinions, right? So my opinion is, listen, I'm not right. See, I don't want to go into like slaughtering the owners or anything. I see the good things they've done and I see the mistakes they've done. These people don't care about Liverpool Football Club, right? They don't. I mean, they care about it from a business perspective and they want to be successful in their own right, because that makes them look good, but it also makes them extremely wealthy. They're extremely wealthy anyway. Football to me is, you know, like, I'm old school, you know, so I miss the old chairman like David Moores and stuff like that. But unfortunately, the younger generation, you know, they will sacrifice their heritage and history because they just want more money. They want the best players. They want to win the Champions League. That's all it's about. So that's why football's kind of dead to me in some regard. I mean, you'll always love football. We'll always enjoy football. But you guys know what I mean here, right? You'd be very naive to think that you're going to get the old school chairman back. It's not going to happen, right? And I don't have a problem with the owners if the club is successful. I really don't. But I'm not going to flip-flop my opinions, you know, because if you were to ask me today, would you want a change of ownership? I would still say yes. I would, honestly, but obviously it depends as to who it is that's sniffing around. But I'm not pursuing that. You know, I'm not like, you won't see FSG out in, you know, as a tagline on a bio of mine or something. But I completely understand those people that, you know, and I've got many of my friends are FSG out. I've got to be honest with you. I completely and utterly respect their views and opinions, and I share them, really, most of them. But I'm at the moment, I'm more focused on, like, I just want to watch Liverpool play. That's all I've ever wanted to do. When I was a young supporter growing up, I didn't know who owned the club. I didn't know who the chairman was, the board of directors. I didn't give a fuck. You didn't know what a chief executive was. You only really got into knowing who the chief executive was during the internet, the birth of the internet, really. And people getting online and following transfer stories and rumours, and then seeing the likes of Rick Parry commenting about things, you know. I don't like, I'm going to message, my phone's on charge, it's over the other side of the room. I mean, that constitutes exercise. I don't think, we're not going right over there. It's big in here. Look, this is an Airbnb. I'm visiting the US at the moment. I'm upstate New York, visiting my best friend at the moment. And I don't know, have I shown you my pad? There we go. It's not bad, is it? I got my Xboxes. I brought my Xbox all the way from not England, from Spain with me. It's just down there, and there's a few rooms that go off, and a nice big bedroom. You know what I'm saying? That's nice. It's all right. It's cheaper than an hotel. Yeah. Anyway, why did I show you that? Oh, because my phone's right over there. I'm not going all that way. This is why I need a girl in my life right here, babe. Yeah. Can you pass us my phone? Okay, baby. While you're here, can you... Anyway, so Kerry Maguire, he pops up everywhere. People have different views about him. You know what I mean? Like, if you look, I put his name in here earlier into Google News, into the news section. He's commenting on Everton, Chelsea, Newcastle, Manchester United, Liverpool. So I don't want you to think he's got some sort of, like, you know, expert connection to Liverpool Football Club. I'm not actually having, you know, I'm not putting this guy down. Some people think he's really worth listening to. Some people think he talks shite and he's very speculative. His comments, in fairness, what he's saying there is not groundbreaking. I could just bake a loaf of bread, yeah? It's always food, and it always comes back to food, doesn't it, you fat little fuck? His comments are not great, but on here, these poxy websites, they want to drive traffic in, they know that people will be all over it. I'm sure there was something else I wanted to mention to you as well. Un momento, por favor. I'm sure there was something. Yes. What date's that? 6th of October. Is that today? That's today. So, another football expert, football finance expert, says Liverpool could miss out on £80 million if they fail to qualify for the Champions League, with points lost at the weekend potentially crucial. Talking about the Spurs drama. Dr. Rob Wilson, never heard of him, of Sheffield Business School, has said that missing out on the top four could have an £80 million impact. He told a betting company this, and we go over this many times on here. We're not talking about told William Hill or Ladbrokes or Paddy Power. I'm not even going to read the site name out, but and I get these people approach me all the time. They give you the quotes and then say, can you backlink to us? Or they don't call it a backlink. They'll say, can you link to the original quotes, which is their website, and that's called a backlink. Okay, a backlink. Most people call it a link. We would call it, someone that runs a website that knows about this stuff, called a backlink. And the more backlinks you have pointing to your website, the higher up Google your website goes. All right, it's one of the factors. And they try, usually these betting websites, they try to get someone to come up with something really juicy because they know that people will publish it. And what does that do? Creates more backlinks. If it's boring, Glenn Johnson thinks Liverpool will win on Saturday. Is everyone really going to click on that? Versus football expert, makes £80 million claim over Liverpool. So that's going to create more interest. You see why they do it? So always be cautious of when you see a former Liverpool player or an expert talking to a betting site, unless it's a big gun like Paddy Power, William Hill, Ladbrokes, whatever, BetVictor, because they don't need to operate like that. They still do. They still pay people to publish articles to link to them, etc. And what you do is, when you run a website like Capta.com, is they approach people like me and say, can you put this article on? Right, thinking that I'm naive and stupid, and go, oh yeah, you selected us to feature this. Oh right, okay, right, and then you put it on. But really, the people approaching you are being paid money to do that, right? Because they're an agency. So I always go, yeah, I can put it on, but it costs you 150 fucking quid. I'm not fucking stupid. Anyway, so it's just a little rant. But it's important that you know this, right? Because these websites are here for, they just be suspicious. Not suspicious, cautious. So he's a football expert, finance expert, and he says there's a discernible difference in prize money for the Premier League's top two of about 5 million or 6 million, but Liverpool still would have qualified for the Champions League, and that's much bigger than finishing fifth. It's offset a bit by the Europa League, but 80 million is the difference between qualifying for the Europa rather than the Champions League. That's why it's much more important for clubs to finish in the top four than finish champions. There isn't that much difference between finishing fourth or finishing first, but it's next to... No, you see, but it is from a fan's point of view, you fuck. But it's next to nothing. Fifth to fourth is where the big money is earned. He said, I'm not a lawyer, so I couldn't answer if Liverpool would have a legal case against the Premier League or not. My understanding is that the laws of the game prevent the game from being stopped As far as the officials were concerned, the VAR decision was the right one, but you would imagine some kind of legal challenge. That legal challenge would involve multi-millions of pounds in unachieved revenue. That could entail not finishing at the top of the Premier League or not reaching the Champions League, which is easy to calculate. Failure to get into the top four will cost Liverpool £80 million next year. I don't see we've got any precedence here other than when Javier Mascherano and Carlos Tevez were playing for West Ham and the Hammers sent Sheffield United down. That ended up being a £5 million payment, which was never relative to the cost of relegation. That does give us a precedent to say a legal challenge will be the next stage. And again, we're going back, right, aren't we, to that game and the legal challenge. And I think this might come back and fucking bite us in the arse. At the end, what I mean by that is at the end of the season, if we miss out on something by a couple of points, there's going to be fucking hell on. So what I have liked, though, is the attitude of you guys on here. You know, there's been a few of you that said, don't matter, we're still going to win the fucking league, dunk. And I'm like, yeah, go on, I like that, man. I love that attitude. It's really good. Don't be disheartened by what happened with that Spurs thing. I said it before, you know, if that's the only way they can fucking beat us, then fine. Well, not beat us, but it is a beating as such. This coffee is fucking great. I went to a grocery store out here. Is it grocery store? Supermarket. I think it was called Tops. I think my boy Smooth took me and he said, I said to him about the coffee. He says, get that one, I'll get that one. So I went, all right then. So I got that one that he told me to get. And it's bloody beautiful. It's really nice coffee. Coffee. Anyway, there's a lot of experts out there, isn't there, guys? At the end of the day, it doesn't make you more knowledgeable than an average fan or something. Do you know what I mean? It depends. Anyway, sorry, my original reason for touching on this was this Liverpool could be sold claim. You know, my personal views on that, you know, all of the clique of journalists, the LFC clique of journalists, sorry if you're wondering what that says, I just can't. The Liverpool clique of journalists, all of them have said that the dynasty equity or whatever the fuck they call deal has put the whole issue to bed about the club, you know, being sold or further investment or whatever. And I completely disagree with this. I made a video on here. I can't remember what it was called. I really hope you saw it because in that video, you know, I spoke about the FSG vice president being a senior advisor with Dynasty. So why would FSG pay out all this money to these two big financial corporations to find them, you know, potential investment when they took minor investment, which they're in a company they're already involved in? They didn't need anyone to introduce them or anything. So it leaves the door wide open as far as I'm concerned. The video is probably called Liverpool Football Club Still for Sale, which I published on September 29th, if you want to see it. Well, it's a long one. But no, I still think that the club is available. I think it's still on the market. And I wouldn't be surprised if further minor investment deals were done, not just necessarily a complete sale at some point, but minor investment deals, like similar ones, very, very small percentages, you know. So yeah, that's it, guys. So if you've seen rumours this week about Liverpool could be sold, I think I won't pay much attention to them, all right? Okay, what time is it? It is 11:42 in the morning. That's a lovely coffee now. All right, guys, thanks for watching. If you did appreciate the video, please thumbs up. Please hit the super thanks button. It's Friday, it's the weekend. If you want to buy me a beer, come on, guys. And more importantly, leave me a comment. Your comments, I always say this all the time, they're the most important things. And if you want to support the channel, there's other ways. Become a VIP member in the video description. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm hustling. Got to hustle, guys. At least I'm honest. At least don't come on here selling your products about shaving your balls and all that manscaping or what the fuck it's called. I'm not hitting the stop button as I finish my coffee. That was incredible. The only thing I'm going to have to be careful about on this little break, I say a break, I'm doing more work since I'm here than I am when I'm home, is I've got to watch I don't put too many pounds back on, you know what I mean? Like last night, my boy Smooth took me for a fucking McDonald's, and I would never have a McDonald's. It was bloody lovely though. Right, okay then. I think that's your last video for today. Please leave a comment, guys. It's important. It keeps me, you know what I mean? Like, when you guys don't comment my videos, I get bored off my tits. Honestly, I really do. And the transfer window's closed now, and everyone's like deserting me again. Do you know what I mean? They're like, no, there's nothing worth watching at the moment. It doesn't help me. Come on, we've got to find something to talk about. And in fact, I think there's a few transfer links that are worth mentioning. I want to speak about this Keffer and Thuram stuff as well. So I don't know if I'll get that out today or whether we'll do that tomorrow. Okay then, guys, I do appreciate you watching. Thanks for your time, and I'll speak to you real soon.